Okay, so the title of this episode is Should They Have Let Leia Die in the Blast? And of course, we're talking about the bridge blast. We're talking about the two little, well, I shouldn't say little, but those laser torpedoes that took out the whole bridge. The Radas cleared everybody out, including Leia, Akbar, and everyone else, followed by which she apparently survived. But that's what the title is referring to. Alright, well, the first thing that we're going to do is let's just go back in time and look at the chronology of events and just sort of reconstruct how we got here. So first of all, Carrie Fisher passed away, sadly, on December 27th, 2016. Now, having said that, they really had to decide how they was going to move forward. So, at any rate, you have to figure that they had a meeting. I mean, you have to figure that it wasn't just business as usual with the franchise. They had to sort of think this through, right? I mean, unless they had planned for her to pass away in 8, Leia, the Leia character, then there's really not a big problem. But it seems as if they had planned for her to be in 9 in some capacity, whether the script was written or not. So at any rate, certainly you have to figure there was some type of meeting where the top people got together and say, so look, are we just going to move along business as usual, or do we have to make some changes, or what have you, right? Obviously, they elected to go with the first option, obviously, as we now know. But let me give you a third option. Someone in the room brought up, you have to figure they at least considered it and kind of weighed it, right? Just as part of due diligence. And that's, she was in the bomb blast. And ostensibly, she died in the blast. At least we thought so. Now, don't you think at some point someone in the room, the think group, the planning group said, you know what, maybe she should just die in that blast. It was already written in the script. And rather than have her come back to life and do all the Mary Poppins stuff, maybe we should just let her die then and there. And that kind of clears up having to write out that character somehow later, in the film or the franchise. It's sort of ready-made to resolve that little issue that we have. Now, in my mind, I think that's, workable, plausible. I think it's a fair option. I don't think you could just dismiss it out of hand, right? Let's think about it. Let's play this out. If she dies in that blast right there, it really doesn't change. It really doesn't change much in the movie. Okay, so we don't get the Mary Poppins scene. Some people would, arguably some people would say that's not really a loss, right? Because that's sort of been a little point of controversy. So, okay, so we don't get the Mary Poppins scene. Right after the Mary Poppins scene, she's literally in a unconscious state. We don't see her for quite a while. For over probably about an hour and a half, we don't even see her. She's laying in the medical bay, so it's not really affecting anything. Holdo's still would have taken command of the ship. All those still would have gone to Canto Bight. For all they know, Leia's not going to recover. For all they know, Leia may not even recover. For all they know, Leia may die of her injury. They just don't know. So it's not really affecting the plot. They still go off to Canto Bight. Rey's still doing whatever she's doing. Now, the next time we see her, she's they sold her through that door where Poe Dameron had revolted. he had taken over the secondary bridge. And then they cut through the door. Leia comes through, shoots him with sort of the stun gun or whatever that is. The impact throws him into a wall. Now, look, Leia didn't have to do that. Anybody could have done that. A guard could have done that. Any minor character could have done that. You could argue Holdo could logically have been the person to do that, and it would have made perfect movie sense if Holdo had done it, right? So that's not a big problem. And then in the next scene, Leia and Holdo are talking. They're putting Poe on the transporter. That scene was not critical. You could lose that scene. You could still, your movie's still intact if they don't have that little chit chat. Okay, yeah, they had a little chit chat about Holdo staying behind on the ship. That little, chit chat. I mean, that wasn't critical. Even down on Crate, she really didn't do much on Crate. Yes, she was in command. Yes, she said send out the signals, and they're asking her for advice. But let's face it, it was really Poe Dameron really taking charge in the cave. He was the one looking out to see what was going on in the battlefield. He was telling people, let's find a way out. He kind of was de facto, Leia was recovering, wasn't at full strength. Poe was really the person walking around taking charge, giving orders and stuff. Leia really didn't do much in the cave. Okay. Even on the Falcon, after they leave the cave, they're on the Falcon. She had like some just courtesy, chit-chatting with different people. Nothing critical. Nothing of great substance. I mean, you can get around that. Okay, so the most difficult scene you're going to have a problem not having, in my mind, is her meeting up with Luke. They meet at that time. Very poignant meeting. They seek, some form of closure. Ostensibly, it's the last time either one of them will see each other before they, both, in a sense, pass away. So in my mind, that would be like the most critical scene that you're leaving on the cutting room floor if you have Leia die in the bomb blast. And you can argue that that could almost be the sole reason why you don't kill her in the bomb blast, because then you don't get that scene. And one could argue that's a really pivotal, meaningful scene that you would really, really hate to have left, on the cutting room floor. So, that would be really a tough call to say, well, yeah, if she dies in the blast, though, we can't have that scene, and we feel that's really a really pivotal, important, substantial scene to their arc. And maybe you could argue for the franchise bringing their story to a fitting close. So that, that's one area where having her die in the blast is a little bit of a tough problem. Is it a deal breaker? Yeah, it's almost a deal breaker. You could almost consider it a deal breaker in having her die or not die in the blast. So, obviously, in the end, they didn't go that route. So, guys, what's your opinion on this? Obviously, they didn't go that route, but what do you think? You think they could have let her die in the blast? Leave your comments down below, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.